While royal weddings are an extravagant event, it also attracts criticisms. But do you know which part of a royal wedding draws the highest number of criticisms? It's the wedding dress. A minute flaw in the design creates quite a bit of pressure for the whole lot to be perfect. A wardrobe malfunction attracts everyone's attention, including the media and public. Therefore, in today's video, we're talking about the 12 worst royal wedding dresses in recent times. So without further ado, let's begin. At number 12, we've got Serena Armstrong-Jones, Countess of Snowdons' wedding dress. Serena Armstrong-Jones wore a wedding dress that was near replica of Princess Margaret's iconic gown. The dress was designed by Norman Hartnell and featured several distinctive elements. The dress was made of white silk organza, a lightweight and sheer fabric that added a delicate and ethereal quality to the gown. The gown had a tailored top with a fitted waist and long sleeves, ensuring a snug fit that highlighted the Countess. The bodice featured a V-neck, which adds a modern touch to the classic design. Despite the elegance and craftsmanship of the dress, it received some criticism and was considered bad by certain standards. The dress was described as a study in simplicity, which some critics found underwhelming for a royal wedding gown. The lack of embellishment and the straightforward design did not meet the expectations of those who anticipated a more elaborate and fancy dress. The dress being a homage to a classic design, others felt it lacked originality and did not stand out on its own. The overall perception was that it did not live up to the grandeur typically associated with royal wedding dresses. The cost of this dress was reported to be around £7,150 at the time. At number 11, we've got Queen Rania of Jordan's wedding dress. Queen Rania's wedding dress was a unique and elaborate creation that stood out for several reasons. The dress was custom made by Bruce Oldfield, a renowned British fashion designer known for his work with Princess Diana. The gown was made of white fabric with intricate gold floral embroidery and golden trim, giving it a fairy tale-like appearance. It featured short sleeves and was complemented by a voluminous veil, designed by Lebanese fashion designer Elie Saab. The dress also included a matching white gold trim collared jacket, a large statement belt, and a white and golden headband, which set it apart from traditional royal wedding attire. Queen Rania completed her look with white gloves, pearl drop earrings, and golden eyeshadow, adding to the overall regal and elegant appearance. Despite the elaborate design and craftsmanship involved, Queen Rania's wedding dress received some criticism. The dress was considered bad by some due to its overall elaborate design. Critics felt that the extensive gold embroidery and the additional accessories made the dress appear too extravagant and over the top. The dress also cost a huge amount of money. It was implied that the expense was significant, which may have contributed to the perception of the dress being overly lavish. The high cost led to some criticism, with detractors feeling that it was too extravagant for the occasion. Next, we've got Marie-Chantal, Crown Princess of Greece's wedding dress. Marie-Chantal, Crown Princess of Greece's dress was a masterpiece of luxury and intricate design featuring several notable elements. It was designed by renowned Italian fashion designer Valentino Garavani, known for his elegant and luxurious creations. Despite the elegance and craftsmanship of the dress, it received some criticism and was considered bad by certain standards. The shape of the dress was really bad. The embroidery on the bottom looked incomplete. The bodice was extremely unflattering. The turtleneck seemed odd for a late spring wedding. A few others had also said that the biggest problem with the dress, though, was the sheer part. It looked like children got a hold of the dress and glued those little arts and crafts pom-poms all over the neckline and sleeves. They said they didn't expect it from an American-British heiress who was marrying a European prince. The extensive use of luxurious materials and intricate detailing, such as the floral motifs, rose appliques, and pearl embellishments, led to the perception of the dress being overly exaggerated and grandiose. Critics felt that the elaborate nature of the dress, including the high cost and intricate details, made it appear too lavish for the occasion. The dress was reported to have cost £150,000 at the time, which was perceived as an exorbitant amount and excessive. At number 9, we've got Queen Mary of Denmark's wedding dress. Queen Mary of Denmark's wedding dress, designed by Danish designer Uffe Frank, is renowned for its intricate craftsmanship and elegant design. The gown was handmade using ivory Duchess satin, which provided a luxurious mother-of-pearl sheen. The dress featured a detachable 6-meter-long train, allowing for a versatile look post-ceremony, a trend that remains popular today. Additionally, the skirt of the dress contained an impressive 8 meters of Irish heirloom lace folded into panels that opened from the back, adding a touch of traditional elegance. Despite the dress's intricate design and emotional significance, it faced criticism from both the media and the public. The dress was considered bad by some. Criticisms have stemmed from differing expectations or taste regarding royal wedding attire. Few critics have said that they liked the idea of the dress, but they hated the execution. The wrinkles were quite distracting. They felt that a different fabric would have helped. The main thing for them, though, were the seams down the front and the way they were wrinkled. Some said that she looks stiff. She looks like she can't breathe, which is not a good look on your wedding day. The exact cost of Queen Mary's wedding dress has been a topic of speculation. Estimates suggest that the dress cost around $76,000. Next, we've got Princess Mabel of Orange-Nassau's wedding dress. Princess Mabel of Orange-Nassau's wedding dress, designed by Dutch designer Victor and Rhos, is one of the most unique and avant-garde royal wedding gowns. The dress was made of Dutch satin and featured long sleeves, a baton neckline, and a long train. The gown was adorned with a staggering 248 bows, which were handmade from crepe georgette and placed in a lattice pattern covering every part of the dress, including the sleeves, bodice, skirt, and train. The bows on the skirt and train were graduated in size, growing to enormous proportions at the end of the train. The dress took more than 600 hours to make, symbolizing longevity, commitment, and permanence. The dress received very mixed reviews from both the media and the public. While some appreciated its avant-garde and unique design, others were less impressed. The dress was described as a frothy mess and a cautionary tale of how too much of a good thing can lead to an overwhelming result. Public opinion was particularly harsh, with comments describing the dress as awful, the horror, and quote, beyond ugly. Critics were bewildered by the excessive use of bows, which some felt resembled a meringue. The estimated cost of Princess Mabel's wedding dress was around £65,000. This high cost reflects the intricate design and the extensive labor required to create the gown. At number 7, we've got Queen Letizia of Spain's wedding dress. Queen Letizia of Spain's wedding dress, designed by the renowned Spanish couture Manuel Portugues, is celebrated for its regal and intricate design. The gown was made of an off-white silk and featured a high-standing collar, long sleeves, and a V-neck dress. The dress also boasted a 4.5-meter circular train, adding to its grandeur. The dress was intricately embroidered with real gold, depicting the fleur-de-lis and ear of wheat, which were details from the Prince of Asturias' crest. The bride completed her look with a cathedral-length silk tulle veil and embroidered with the same floral designs as the gown, a gift from Philippe. Despite the dress's luxurious design and craftsmanship, it faced some criticism. The dress was considered bad by some. Criticisms may have stemmed from differing expectations or taste regarding royal wedding attire. Queen Letizia was married in a cathedral, and naturally, it was a grand affair. However, critics said that the dress didn't live up to the expectations considering the grandness of the event. Queen Letizia's wedding dress is one of the most expensive royal wedding dresses of all time, with an estimated cost of £6 million. Another source estimates the cost to be nearly $8 million. This high cost reflects the luxurious materials, including the real gold embroidery and the extensive labor required to create the gown. Next, we've got Kelly Jean Prinzessin von Saxe-Coburg and Gotha's wedding dress. Kelly Jean Prinzessin von Saxe-Coburg-Gotha wedding dress, worn during her wedding to Prince Hubertus, the hereditary Prince of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, featured a bodice that was heavily criticized for its design. The lace on the dress covered only her chest, while the rest of the bodice resembled a girdle or corset worn on the outside. Despite this, the lace pattern itself was noted for its beauty and had the potential to make the dress stunning. The dress was considered bad primarily due to the design of the bodice, which many felt looked like an external girdle or corset. This design choice led to significant criticism in both the media and in the public domain. Initial impressions of the dress were positive when Kelly was holding her bouquet, but upon closer inspection, the unconventional bodice design led to disappointment and negative reviews. A few critics also explained the flaws in the dress. The lace was just covering her upper part of her body. The rest of her bodice looked like she was wearing her girdle corset on the outside by mistake, and that was not in a good way. This was a real bummer for them because the pattern of the lace was beautiful, and this had a real chance to be stunning. Cost of the dress was another factor of drawing criticism. At number 5, we've got Lady Zara Tindle of the UK's wedding dress. Zara Tindle, formerly Zara Phillips, married rugby star Mike Tindle in a custom wedding dress designed by Stuart Parvin, a couturier to the Queen. The dress was made of ivory silk veil and silk duchess satin, featuring a drop waist pleated bodice that concealed a corset and flowed into a full skirt and a train. Delicate fabric covered buttons ran down the back of the gown from the neckline to the hem. The dress also had hidden pockets in the skirt, adding a practical touch to the elegant design. Zara's veil was a silk tulle, cathedral-length bouffant style with a short blusher, complementing the classic look of the gown. While the dress was generally well received, some critics described it as a little dated and just a bit old-fashioned. It was noted that the dress was immaculately cut with a fitted bustier, drop waist, and classic A-line skirt, but some felt it required additional flourishes or beautiful design details to elevate it to the realms of extraordinary. Along with terming it as old-fashioned, some critics have also found that the dress lacked extraordinary design details. The entire construction of the veil and the shoulder pieces was another reason for the criticism. The high cost of Zara's wedding dress was another reason for drawing the criticism. Next, we've got Princess Madeleine of Sweden's wedding dress. Princess Madeleine of Sweden's wedding dress, designed by Valentino Garavani, was a masterpiece of haute couture. The gown was crafted from pleated silk organza and adorned with ivory Chantilly lace, giving it a delicate and luxurious appearance. The upper section of the bodice featured lace with a deep cut back, adding a touch of elegance and modernity to the traditional design. The dress had narrow vertical pleats that opened up from the accentuated, lower part of her body, leading to a wide skirt that ended up with a 4-meter-long train. The accompanying veil was made of silk organza, measuring 6 meters long, was embroidered with Chantilly lace flowers and edged with silk tulle. Princess Madeleine completed her bridal look with a royal tiara decorated with fresh orange blossoms from the Oscar de la Renta white palms. Despite the intricate design and luxurious materials, Princess Madeleine's wedding dress received some criticism. The dress was considered bad by some in the media and in the public domain, although specific reasons for this criticism were not detailed in the sources. One notable issue was that the gown was too big on the morning of the wedding due to the princess losing weight, which had contributed to the negative perception. The cost of Princess Madeleine's wedding dress was significant as well. Valentino haute couture wedding gowns typically start around $100,000. and her dress was no exception. At number 3, we've got Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex wedding dress. Meghan Markle's wedding dress, designed by Claire Way Keller for Givenchy, is a masterpiece of simplicity and elegance. The dress is made of pure white silk caddy and features a bateau neckline that gracefully frames the shoulders, emphasizing a slender sculpted waistline. The dress has 3/4 length sleeves, an open boat neckline, and a train with a built-in triple silk organza skirt. The dress is devoid of lace or any other embellishments, highlighting its minimalistic design. The pure lines of the dress are achieved using 6 meticulously placed seams. However, Meghan Markle's wedding dress received mixed reviews from both the public and critics. While some praised it as beautiful and stunning, others found it boring, baggy, and ill-fitting. Critics also noted that the dress seemed to mimic the style of the late fashionista Carolyn Bassett Kennedy. The veil in particular was mocked for its style and length, with some comparing it to a CVS receipt in internet memes. Amelia Wickstead, a designer, criticized the dress for it being identical to one of her own designs and pointed out that the fit should have been perfect given its simplicity. She also commented on the dress being quite loose and criticized Meghan's messy bun hairstyle. Interestingly, the late Queen Elizabeth reportedly had reservations about the pure white color of the dress, which sparked some controversy within the royal family. Next, we've got Olympia Bonapart, Princess Napoleon's wedding dress. Olympia Bonapart, Princess Napoleon, wore a striking wedding dress designed by Oscar de la Renta. The gown featured a graphic, cut-out fern motif, which added a modern and unique touch to the traditional bridal look. The dress was complemented by a matching capelet, which provided an additional layer of elegance and sophistication. The ensemble was completed with a trailing veil trimmed with matching lace, enhancing the overall aesthetic of the dress. To add a regal touch, Olympia wore a bejeweled tiara, which perfectly complemented the intricate details of her gown. While the dress was a beautiful creation by Oscar de la Renta, it did face some criticism. Primary critique was that the graphic cutout fern motif was considered too modern and unconventional for a royal wedding, which traditionally favors more classic and timeless designs. This deviation from the norm led to mixed reactions from the public and media, with some appreciating the bold choice and others feeling that it was inappropriate for the occasion. The exact cost of Olympia Bonaparte's wedding dress has not been publicly disclosed. However, it's considered that Oscar de la Renta's wedding gowns typically range from $10,000 to $100,000, and it's likely that her custom-designed dress fell within this price range. Its high cost also contributed to the overall criticism. And at number 1, we've got Marie-Chantal of Monaco's wedding dress. Marie-Chantal wore multiple outfits during her wedding ceremonies with Louis Duquesne. The design of the dress she wore during the civil ceremony was a sophisticated, weightless silk crepe culotte jumpsuit with embroidered lace at the lower part of the body, featuring a sleeveless design, a discreet V neckline, and an exquisite open back. It was designed by Rosa Clara, a Barcelona-based designer. Her religious dress was a princess-style wedding gown with a boat neckline, a fitted waist, and a full skirt. The dress was made of silk zagar and embroidered chantilly lace, and it took 300 hours to create. But it was her reception dress that attracted criticism. She wore a Rosa Clara mini dress with a plunging neckline, a short hemline, and a tulle overcoat. The dress was described as bold due to its short hemline, which has sparked some debate. A few critics went to say that it seemed like a lovely gown, but looked like it was thrown together at the last minute. The bunched piece between the bodice and the skirt also raised many eyebrows. A few others said that why does each side of the bust come to an actual point, whereas it could have been done in one more fitting before the event? One critic was blunt, saying that there was just structural flaws in it. And with this, we wrap this video. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you find our channel interesting, then subscribe to it. Thank you. See you in the next video.